recently lost a party member to a slap fight with a god that ended in a pissing contest, and they sought out a way to raise them. After traveling a bit, they ended up in Mira's grove. But before they could raise him, said party member sat down and had some tea with the entity known as Death, who was amused by the paladin, quite cheerful by it, and left him with some tea for thought. Meanwhile, the party worked their way through the grove, trying to find the person known as Mira, who is said to be capable of bringing people back from the dead. Stumbling into a clearing, they encountered an owlbear family who,
Which was extremely cute.
yes, who had a baby owlbear who was all fuzzy and cute and eating grub, and it screamed in terror when it seen you, and Mama and Papa Owlbear started attacking you guys. And it was a dangerous fight, though Mira showed up and intervened, saving you from potentially more dead party members. And she leads you back through the woods to her home where she asks for a price to raise your party member. And the price, she says, is a sliver of one's soul to tether their soul back to the material plane. Alaric bravely offered up a piece of his soul, though he still does not know what he gave.
I wasn't using that part of my soul anyway.
Yet,
Been really amazing if you had a party member that might have had Revivify.
Yeah,
Took longer than a
maybe.
minute.
it took longer a minute to discover his dead body. He walked
Gotcha.
into a temple and pissed on a statue, or at least attempted to, and a god smote him. So Revivify would not have applied, unfortunately.
I
So,
mean, unless Connie went with him, but I mean,
well, we
It is
cannot
neither
meddle
here
with the
nor there.
past.
Well, I mean,
No
we meddle
later
with
on.
death. Why not meddle with time?
Well, I would say death meddled with you.
Well, meddle with Sam, but
But regardless,
Damn,
the,
yeah.
the price was sufficient enough, and Samuel's soul returned to his body. He, with
shit.
his new perspective on life and the party, returned to Meadowrest, discovering the march had arrived. A temporary camp was set up, and you met with Bram, the villager in charge who you had seen as a farmer, now back in his March armor, heading to the fort for a debriefing and exit interview. And you were left with an individual who introduced himself as Tim, and the information that a gentleman named Kent was in charge of the goings on in Meadowrest, and you could find him at the inn. As you started heading across the plaza, that is where we ended the session. And as for you, Jake, so far, the last thing you remember was the first fight with the devil or the second fight. Were you here for the second fight?
I know we chased the bitch through the
The
tunnels, and
tunnels?
then we came out ahead with all the carts, and then the people, and then there was that fight.
So you remember the townsfolk being around the mayor and you guys retreating, and that's it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I think I remember killing her.
Okay, so you were here for the kill. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you guys had returned back to town the next morning. No villagers in sight, and the mayor sitting on the stage with the the illusion, and then you guys killed her, and that was the last thing you remember. That session was the entire session was
Correct. I remember that
like-
part. Yes.
a 8-round fight.
Yep.
Well, after that, the party went venturing to investigate the goings on of the town to figure out where the villagers were, and found them to the north burying the dead that Samuel had created the night before. And the townsfolk immediately knew when the mayor died that they had been, charmed by her. They were not, in fact, cultists. And upon investigation, the party concurred, and then they set about putting martial order, getting the march involved, and everything like that, because that's what they decided to do. Investigated the tunnels. Samuel got the ring that the devil dropped and put that on, found out it was cursed by a god, killed himself. Then the party went and raised him, and now you guys are back at Meadowrest.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, Tim falls in step beside you as you're leaving the march camp and moves with a precision, measured cadence that he's marching alongside your guys' horses. He's a wiry framed half elf. And he's wearing the same plate as the rest of the march, but his armor's been modified in the back, and on the back you can see 2 leather-bound books that are sort of strapped right to his armor. And then over top of that, he has a backpack. And he has 2 short swords at his hip. And you could tell from the polish on the short swords that they seem more polished than they do, being held. And he introduces himself. I'm Tim. His voice is even, deliberate. Definitely has some, authoritative experience mixed into it. I serve as a sort of liaison for the march, specialize in legal matters. My role is to support your activities should questions arise. Judging by what I've been briefed on, there appears to be no issue here, open and shut. And he kind of shifts his backpack and adjusts the straps on his books. But he keeps pace with the party on their horses as you guys move towards the inn. Adjudicator Harlow requested I accompany you for the duration of your stay in the March's jurisdiction. Consider me a witness, your defense and representation, should it arise, of your joint operations with the March. You have gained a reputation as disruptors of events, not with ill intent, but enough to warrant oversight as a second set of eyes to back up your claims. I travel light, observe closely, and speak only when necessary. Think of me as your legal shadow. Unobtrusive, but entirely professional.
Oh god, the fuzz is onto us.
Yeah, you guys get to the inn door and dismount your horses, and he glances over at the building. Inside, I'll remain largely out of the way. If questions arise, I'm here as your point of support, a resource, sent personally by Harlow for you, should you need it.
Well, that's awfully kind of you, and I do appreciate the additional support considering these situations we happen to find ourselves in.
He just nods.
Well,
He just stands there.
Yeah.
Looking at the door of the inn.
and yeah, so Mike. So I think we're gonna end up spending the night here at the inn. And just so you know, I believe our ultimate destination is Redolin for the delivery of that crate.
Well, that's well outside of where I'd be following you. We got another. Well, with the oxen, it'd be 3 weeks to Kettle's Crossing, and that's where we would part ways if you're continuing west from there.
Well, that is the plan, but well, you never know. what
Unless
might
something
happen.
else arises. So just be
Oh, yeah.
prepared to leave with us in the morning.
Indeed. Well, you'll find me at the camp in the morning, but for the day I'll be with you. And it is like early evening. It's not quite dark yet.
Mhm.
But it sounds like if you guys go into the inn, he's coming with you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm basically going in to get some food, some drink, and I'm just gonna kind of probably just keep writing a scroll for the remainder of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Well, you guys are planning on going in.
yeah, I go in.
Go through the doors.
Yep.
Yeah. And smells of a spiced stew with a slight tang of tobacco. You can see smoke hanging in the air. Neatly stacked in one of the corners is a couple of March banners. Looks like about 5 of them. Each one with a different little crest on them. And from what you've seen of all of the different March patrols, they all seem to have their own sort of like crest marking their group of 8. And on a table to the side, a man rises as you enter. It's a human, boots scraping lightly on the floorboard. Ledger in hand, he gives a quick nod. Ah, you must be the ones everyone is talking about. An easy grin on his face. I'm Kent. Kent Winslow. Well, Sergeant of the March, squad leader, occasional juggler of paperwork. Mostly the paperwork part. Taps the ledger with
Just
a
find
finger.
Superman.
Well, I'll shake his hand, assuming he's offering it, and be like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah. If you go up to him, he'll greet you and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to keep things orderly, but life does sure have a sense of humor, doesn't it? I got a feeling your little adventure here has made the day a bit more exciting for some folks somewhere. For me too, honestly. The
well,
unusual is my stock in trade.
what's life without a little bit of spice every now and then?"
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming you're looking around as you're talking to him. You're not just staring him intently in the eyes.
I'm being polite, yeah. Not trying to stare him down or anything.
Yeah, as you take in the room, you notice there's a quiet movement in the halls to the north and east. There's a steady flow of villagers being politely escorted by different March soldiers. The occasional door opens for a moment. People are moved past you. Some villagers smile and wave at you as they pass, but they
Mhm.
don't stop and chat. From both the halls, you can hear what sounds like muffled conversation. It's mostly calm, some confusion, but as one would expect from an interview process. Yeah, one of the soldiers ushers a woman out, and, you know, walks past you, and she goes outside, and he disappears. And a few moments later, another soldier comes in with a different person. And Kent looks at you as the whole process takes and goes, privacy. And a chance for honest answers. Though watching faces is always a bonus. My squad has slotted the rest of the day out, but we got here this morning, set up all the interview rooms, and so far we've got 70 villagers. Not a one of them realized the mayor was, let's call it, magically motivating them. Charming, manipulative, entirely under the March's nose. Delightful, isn't it?
Well, it could have been worse.
He chuckles and spins the ledger in his hand, flipping it closed and setting it on the table. I'll be here for the next few days. Fortunately, they have room service. My men are conducting interviews. You'll barely notice them if you decide to stay. Though we would like to have a chat with you guys if you're free in the morning.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Get out, check out.
we can talk before we head out. We were planning on spending the night and then setting out for our destination tomorrow morning. So before we head out, we can talk with you if you'd like.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, we'll pencil that in. 8 o'clock work for you? I'm free.
Should be fine.
Wonderful. And as you're chatting, another villager gets escorted out. He tips an imaginary hat at them. Remember, eyes open, answer honest. Humor is optional but encouraged. And yes, if anyone acts funny, it's probably magic, or you, or them, or one of the three, guaranteed. He just watches them walk out the door, even more confused. And he steps over. You can see by where the banners are on the north wall of the entry area. They have a rough map of the town drawn, and they have names written on all of the houses and everything like that. And they have X's through a bunch of the names. About 70 of them are X'd off. Well, we're just deducing habits, routines, just tracking all of it, just procedure. We're Harlow's specialists for this sort of thing. Investigations. Normally it's a murder case or a missing coin. This is certainly a new one. Villagers, well, they were definitely blissfully unaware that the life that they had just happened to be magically influenced. So, slightly more interesting than my usual routine.
Well,
But I'm assuming you'll want some rooms.
yes.
I actually did not mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I'm good. Yeah, we would like some rooms.
All right. Yeah, so, the next soldier that comes out, he says something in their ear, and they walk the person in the door and then walk back, and they knock on a couple of rooms, and it looks like they're basically just saying, when you wrap up your interview, pack up and get out.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then they just continue about the process.
Sure. Well, I assume we're like just sitting in the tap room at this point, waiting for the rooms to clear up.
Yeah, there's no tap room. It's more of like a like the breakfast area in a like a cheap motel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if they've
So
got
more
that
more
stew, I'll
tables
just
that
have my stew
yeah.
here then.
Yeah, there's a couple of open tables over on the south wall, and the innkeeper seems to be standing the northeast corner where there's a counter, and he's kind of standing there, and that's where you can smell the stew coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, I walk over and see about getting myself a dinner.
Yeah, and he- he's he's a little nervous. There's a lot more people in here than he's usually used to, and he's definitely not used to this many soldiers. But he serves you up, and just makes small chit chat. The whole gum's been getting mintier lately routine, because he doesn't quite know what to say.
Yeah, well, when it gets all sorted out, it'll quiet back down.
Well, from what it sounds like, close to 200 people that are leaving. Get back to their original lives.
Hmm. Well, then I suppose the place will be a little cozier for those that choose to remain.
Hmm, yeah, sounds like Bram's going to be the mayor.
I'd vote for him.
I mean, that's the gossip, but what's a old tiefling like me going to know about, well, what's the medieval equivalent of water tank or water tank talk?
The water well.
Oh yeah, I suppose well gossip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That actually makes sense. There is a well here with an aquifer where everybody would go to get their water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that one. Good job.
There's also the
Good
Yes,
job.
sauna.
yes, yes.
Oh
That is
yeah, there's
usually
the
where.
sauna with the poisonous water.
Well, now it's usually where women gossip was at the well because traditionally women were the ones that gathered the water, so they would get the gossip at the wells, while the men would get it at the bathhouse because they were the only one allowed to use the bathroom.
Indeed. And next to the bathhouse, I did not mention this. You guys did see a large tank that was constructed.
Oh, that's good that they're
Abrams
taking it
Challenger.
seriously.
8 feet across and 2 feet tall, and it looks like it has a lid and a sign posted next to it. But yeah, you get your stew, you get your well gossip, and I can't say an uneventful evening, as there are constantly a stream of villagers coming in and out. Some of them wave at you, a couple of them stop and chat with you. You get the same gossip that the elderly tiefling innkeeper gave you.
By act friendly.
But yeah. If you guys aren't planning on doing anything else,
I think we
Sleep.
caused enough trouble here at the for the time being.
I mean, you met death. Wait till you meet the time being.
Yeah.
Bottom tis.
Well played.
But anyway, yeah, you guys get your rooms. Looks like they cleared out that southern hallway for you.
You talk like we did some really bad stuff, like pissed on holy relics. We didn't do anything like
Or
that.
murdered 20 villagers. You know, nothing
mean, we-
crazy.
Any of that kind of stuff.
Nah.
It was
really bad.
collateral damage well within acceptable limits.
Exactly. We were killing a devil. It was acceptable.
Nah, 4% casualty rate's okay. It's under 5.
By medieval standards, that was a goddamn precision strike.
Yeah. You guys go down for the night. You guys do anything special for the evening, or you just close your eyes and wait for morning?
Well, I
I
sleep.
think with the, yeah, I think with the march here, we're good.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, from what you could tell, there's 40 March soldiers here. And what you've seen of Kevin, you're pretty sure they can handle themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone starts some shit, it's going to be either some very short shit or some very apocalyptic shit. Either way, it doesn't matter if we set anything up or not.
Well, yeah, you guys go to sleep. And, as sun was setting and everything like that, the march is wrapping up their endeavors, and it sounds like Kent and his squad are taking up residency in the inn. You hear chatter and stuff as you guys retire to your rooms, and it all sounds usual and normal. Soldiers being soldiers.
Hide your crayons.
There was a significant lack of wax markers. You only seen charcoal pencils.
Hmm.
And the hot sauce is all gone.
Well, I mean that's stop.
The stew was very bland. It was not spicy at all. But anyway, yeah, night passes without incident. You hear a reveille at about 6 in the morning. And then whenever you guys wake up,
Yeah,
Kent is
whenever
already
we
in the
normally wake up.
yeah. Yeah, whenever you guys decide to wake up, Kent is already sitting in the entry area at his makeshift desk. There's a stack of papers next to him, and at a glance you can see there's different names at the top of it and interview notes. If you glance at the top sheet, looks like some random villager who used to be a traveling merchant, and they had lived here for 27 years. But yeah,
Nice.
as you walk over, he looks up and goes, "Ah, excellent. You didn't die in your sleep. That makes my job easier."
Would it be tricky to talk to us in that case?
Yeah. Though, apparently clerics are getting better at that one. I still think it's weird, but it would make murder cases a lot easier if you could just talk to the corpse.
True.
Anyway, so do you guys want to go one by one or just sit down and have a big buffet of a conversation about everything that happened when you guys showed up on this devil's doorstep?
Oh, I think the buffet of conversation is fine.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's make some room over here. And he picks up
You're
a
back.
leather-bound book, walks over to another table that has seats for everybody, and he settles down. So, you guys, from what I've gathered, are the most professional party crashers I have ever met. And I hired one for my sister's second wedding. He forgot to show up. Anyway, so from what I've gathered, you guys showed up on the 300th anniversary festival. And then, after a decent night of drinking and revelry, one of you, and he looks at Samuel, shot the mayor with a beam of fire and killed 20 other people in the process. And then everybody ran away and aren't sure what exactly happened. But then they all remember the mayor having them rally to get rid of you. And then she told them they should go bury the dead in the morning. And then while they were burying the dead, that's when the charm was broken in the morning. So, why don't you guys give it to me from your perspective, and we'll see if we can't figure out what the hell I put in my report. And as for
She
you,
was
and he
a
points at
demon,
Samuel,
and I purged her.
and as for you, and he points at Samuel, we're just going to put down the 20 as devil worshipping casualties, because that saves me a lot of paperwork, and then I don't have to hang you.
That's what they were. They were devil worshipping cultists.
So, why don't you guys start from the top?
All right.
Why did you stop in Meadow Rest?
Well, we were on the road and we saw off in the distance some fireworks. We figured out that the launch point was close enough that we could reach it in time for the evening and figured it was a village or some type of well-supplied camp and figured out well, to make for that for the night. If they're having fireworks off, and celebrating, they can't be that unfriendly. So we showed up, and yeah, they were having a big party. They welcomed us originally with open arms, and yeah, we partied with them. During the party, however, various conversations just didn't feel right. Something was off. Samuel, I think, was the first one to pick up on that when he was investigating some of the stuff.
They stole my pig.
They stole your pig.
Yeah.
That's
Write
what
something
started
down in
this
the
all.
book.
That is what started the
Yeah.
entire confrontation. I had a pig that was playing fetch with me.
You brought a pig with you on the road. That is an interesting traveling companion. But anyway, continue.
Pigs are as smart as dogs. Why would you think? What is wrong with having a pig as a companion?
I think we're getting a little off topic.
Yeah,
So
Samuel, just continue, please.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I let Alar talk.
anyway, so yeah, Samuel, his pig disappeared. He enlisted my aid, and we found some pig tracks just suddenly stopped, as well as some odd scratches and divots, things that pointed to either very, very large wildlife that was in the middle of a village that was in the middle of a party, or something untoward was going on. During the course of the, we looked around a bit, we talked to some people, and at one point the mayor started gathering. The former mayor started gathering everyone around the stage with her on top in the center, as if gathering them to either attack us or to act as human shields. At that point, Samuel was able to definitively determine that the mayor was in fact a fiend. Realizing that this was in fact not a normal village, but in all likelihood a hostile village of potential devil worshippers, he opened up with his initial assault, giving us the advantage of surprise. 20 devil worshippers were slain. The rest of them scattered. We took the fight to the devil. During the fight, the devil showed her true face, at least to us, but we were unable to destroy her that evening. She rallied the thralls, I suppose would be a good word for them, the thralls around her, and not wishing to simply slaughter an entire village, we managed to effectively force a stalemate where if they attacked, we would kill them all, but if we kept pressing against her, they would all die anyway. So we retreated for the evening to a camp we made a bit down the road, out of sight of the village, and plotted an assault upon the mayor that we could isolate and get at her without the villagers being caught in the crossfire. Come the morning, fortuitously, the villagers had decided to go and bury them, at least from our perspective, leaving the mayor and a cadre of her imps alone in the village. We basically made a strike against her and eventually slayed her, though not without, as I point out some of the damaged buildings, not without some amount of property damage. Once she was slain, we found the remainder of the village and determined that, in all likelihood, they were not willing participants, but that they needed to be cleared professionally, something we weren't exactly well equipped to do. So we contacted the March and just kind of sequestered them all in the village.
Well, that explains why I'm here. But good choice nonetheless. And then you guys had, and he flips through the book nearer to the back, and he pulls out, drawn a map of the tunnels beneath the city. That was another new one. I've seen secret tunnels. These are, it looks like a squirrel dug them. but nonetheless, an effective means to travel without being detected. What it sounds like, villagers plan on expanding them and using them as storage. Smart move. Permanent seller.
Yeah, very smart.
Yeah, they'll serve them well in the winter.
So, you guys came here without any knowledge that any mischief was afoot, discovered it upon yourselves, and then dealt with it upon yourselves, and then almost killed everybody, but then decided against it, and then rallied everybody around, and then called the march. Got it. Mercenary 101. Unfortunately, we do not pay out bounties for devils. We can give you our thanks and gestures behind you, which you did not see him enter, but Tim is standing behind you guys now. And you get Tim. Tim's a good guy.
Yeah, seems
Which
like
Tim
it.
Let me just say out of character that if
Mhm.
I ever get in trouble, I am calling Under to defend me, even though he's not a lawyer. He come up with the smoothest way to explain that I executed 20 people to shoot a demon or a devil.
Well, to be fair, the guy from the march did basically let that open and be like, yeah, we're just going to classify them as bad guys and move on.
So I gave him a story that fit the narrative he wanted.
Exactly. And that's he was just nodding and writing as you guys were talking. And then, the only thing that really tripped him up was the fact that all of this started over a pig. That was the bit of information he was completely unaware of, that he's just sitting there flabbergasted like, a pig? A pig?
That it did start over a pig. It was started over Samuel's pig.
Sure. And ultimately, an avalanche is caused by a single snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It
The
takes
devil
only
should
a
have gone
pebble
for the pig.
to block a road. But,
Are we
regardless,
speaking in Tomlinisms?
confusionisms.
You guys don't watch.
You broke up. What did you say?
I said you guys don't watch football. I forgot.
Yes, we do not watch the sports ball with the oval purple thing or brown thing.
A hand egg.
Yeah, the hand egg.
Yeah, I never was a big fan of rugby.
I thought that was lacrosse. No, that's a town. Anyway,
Listening to a tennis game where they put microphones on the players is hilarious, just FYI.
honestly, mic'd up football players, when they know the other players mic'd up, is like they're some of the best commentary. Oh, you're mic'd up? Here, let me say some stupid shit. But anyway, yeah, and it takes about an hour for you guys to go through all the details of the story as he's asking and talking and everything like that. But he finishes up and he goes, "Well, that about sums up everything that I really need from you. Open shut, clean and clear, and under control. I think we'll take it from here." Dorna.
Personally,
Sorry, somebody messaged me. Adjudicator Dorn said that he will be here. And he goes and grabs another book and he flips through it. Tuesday. Whatever the in-world world is for Tuesday, because I just like the word Tuesday. So, it's 3 days from now. Apparently, he's putting down the charter and everything should be kosher. Town has adequate income, taxation, yada 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 yada. So that's all I need from you guys, unless you have any suggestions of what to do for the anti-baby magic water. But if not, we're just gonna leave it sit in the tank.
I don't know, you got any people you really don't like?
Brother-in-law.
I mean, the whole tank might be a little overkill, but I just kind
I
of
mean,
shrug and just
we're
kind of
not
go
going
like,
to say anything about it.
Well, we sent for somebody from Ghent to come take a look at it. They'll get here eventually, and they'll probably take it back to the city for who knows what kind of experimentations they do in that crazy magic lab of theirs.
I mean, any first level cleric or druid should be able to destroy water. It is a cleric spell.
Okay.
So find a church, the cleric, and ask him to cast create or destroy water a couple of times on it.
All right. What's that cleric's name? He gets up and he goes over the other. Well, we'll see if the cleric here knows how to do that. I don't know the first thing about magic. But if you say so, I'm sure somebody will figure it out. Either way, doesn't seem to be getting out of the tank, and that's all I really care about.
Yeah, it is the important bit. Have they refilled the tank inside or not the tank, the cistern inside the sauna?
I think so. You would have to talk to somebody else about that. I've kind of, well, had my hands full here as he holds up 2 stacks of paper.
Sure. Well, before we leave, I ought to pop in there and just make sure that there isn't anything else funny going on with the water. That it's all clear and not magical.
Mm. Yes, we don't want any jester water.
All right, well, if that's
Well,
it, then I'll take my leave.
well,
I'm happy to
leave you guys to it.
leave the march to deal with this.
Well, isn't exactly my first time dealing with something exactly like this, but this is my first time dealing with something exactly like this.
All right, well, have a good day. And then I just walk away.
that place.
Yeah, and he just kind of goes back to looking at papers and writing stuff down.
Mhm.
Waves at you guys as you're leaving.
Yeah, I'll be polite and wave back, and I'll tell Lizar to ready the party's carriage, baggage train. We're gonna be heading out, but first I need to pop over to the sauna.
All right, yeah. So you go up a little bit north of the inn and talk to Lizar again.
Yeah, I just let them know to start pulling our stuff around, and that is our order, right?
Yeah, Lizar.
Okay, yeah.
Mispronounce the word laser and you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lizar's at the wagon when you approach. He's standing there. He's got a piece of parchment unrolled on the side, and he's like writing on it. And he stands with the parchment, and he sees you. Kind of stands up straight. His posture is still portraying like nervous, and his eyes are a little darty. But there is a significant march presence here, and he's technically a criminal, so it's understandable. Itches the tattoo on his arm as he starts. His eyes make contact with you. Yeah, it's been quite an interesting week. Enjoyed the hospitality of the kind folk here. But as for the wagons, I had to reorganize some of the cargo, and I think that some of the children in the town snuck off with one of the crates of dried fruit, though I'm not sure. I haven't found the culprit or culprits, but according to the ledger, recovered from the dead merchant, one crate worth about 200 gold pieces up north is unaccounted for. I can't find it. I've
Oh. Well, they've been through enough. No reason to hunt them down over a crate of dried fruit.
And I've gone through everything that was left over and collected from tunnels beneath the town. He leans in closer. The mayor's secret little stash of goodies from all the folks she tricked into staying here. And he kind of stands up back straight and continues. they loaded it all in one of the wagons, and I went through and sorted what they brought. And but here's an he holds the parchment in his hand. Here's an itemized list of what's been loaded into your wagon, and he just holds the parchment rolled up to you.
Yeah, I take it. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all in good order. We will be.
And that's what's on the list.
Okay. Yeah. I unfurl it. I read. And it's like, all right, yeah, this looks good. We are going to be leaving probably in an hour or so, so you might want to get everything, brittled up and ready to roll.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Everything's sorted out in the wagons and the carriages. Well, I had some downtime, so I polished them up. They definitely shine good. That one that you guys said you got from the gnome, real good wood.
Yeah, he
Anyway,
does good work.
the oxens are all saddled up, and the horses just need to get strapped to the carriages, but that's how it goes. Uh, Oxens are nice and steady, and horses don't mind the slower pace. But I'm sure they're all anxious to get back on the road. He steps back and stands lightly on the side of one of the wagons. That's the current state of the cargo. Everything's been loaded and ready for departure whenever you are.
Great.
Yeah, tally ho.
Yeah. We'll be back momentarily. And then I
And he
head
turns
over.
and starts hooking all the horses up to the carriages.
All right. Yeah, and I head over to the sauna. Unless someone else stops me.
No, your path is uninterrupted. And as you get close to the sauna, you can see the wooden sign in front of the. I guess you could call it. It's about the size of a hot tub. It's 8 feet across and 2 feet deep, and has a wooden lid, nailed to it. And the sign says, "Danger, keep out. Order of the Wedlamar March." And then the sauna doors are there.
Okay. Yeah, I just stepped past the sign. I told the marsh I was going in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's over on the to the south of the sauna. There's the water tank they made.
Mhm.
The sign is over there, not on the doors of the sauna.
Okay.
It's like on the tank
I gotcha.
itself. Yeah, my
Right.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then, I just proceed into the sauna.
You find it as you found it before. Your keep out sign that you made is still on the door.
Mm-hmm. And I go to the basement and do a detect magic ritual on the water that is in the cistern.
You cast detect magic. Oh, as you go down the stairs, there is a human woman down there, and she looks like she's carrying a jug of water, and she sees you. She goes, "Oh, you guys. Well, don't mind me. Let me get out of your way." And she scurries up the stairs and gets out of your way, and then you cast your detect magic ritual, and nothing but that key pings. One that's hanging on the wall, the coal activator.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't ping any magic.
Great. Well, that's all settled then.
Yeah, you can go back outside.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, and the cistern is within 30 feet, and it is also not, or the temporary hot tub they made is also not pinging with detect magic.
Huh. We'll just not mention that.
But yeah, you guys head over to your carriages. Everybody gets loaded up. And you and your massive fucking caravan of god too many animals get back on the road.
Yeah.
You guys have like what, 20 something horses and 14 oxen?
Sounds right.
Yeah, you guys start getting on the road.
On
And
the road again.
yeah, you make your way continuing west. And a day goes by, 2 days go by, the third day goes by, and you guys get to that fort. And Tim is riding with you. He's just riding on his horse. And as you guys get near the fort, and it's in visible range, he goes, I have to stop in here for the Western Courier, as I'm the only one going west, apparently. You can hear the disdain in his voice.
Okay. Yeah, we're not in any hurry. While we have to deliver the package, we don't have a fixed timeline for it. So, yeah, we can
Nice.
take a small detour and wait for you. Not an issue.
Yeah, and you guys, I'm assuming you just wait roadside. There's no reason. He said it'll be only a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no reason to wait. Or I mean, there's no reason to go tromping into the fort and scaring the bejesus out of everyone as this huge, massive caravan just shows up.
Believe
With
it or
our,
not, it probably would not surprise these guys because, well, you're the talk of the fucking region.
Even with our Chaos Wyvern.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Yes. Nibbles is a curiosity, but most people seeing him with you guys kind of just shrug. The
Fair
world is a big place. There's a lot of weird things everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's eaten any of them.
Yet.
Well, they haven't attacked us. I mean, they attack us. We've seen what Nibbles will do.
Yeah. So you guys are chatting there for a few minutes. About 10 minutes go by, and he comes back out, and you can see that he has a large saddlebag that's an addition to his horse. It looks to be like the size of a military rucksack strapped across the back of his horse.
Okay.
And he rides up. Yep. Do have to love bureaucratics. And he just forms in rank with you guys as you guys continue on.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
chit-chatting amongst yourselves, Tim does mention that looks like Dorn and his personal squad were getting ready to leave. So, and Bram said hello.
Well, it's good that he found his place again.
Yeah, you guys get back on the road. And another day goes by, and another, and another. And 6 days after you left Meadow Rest, you cross the opening that you would recognize Alar and Alaric, and technically Connie, as the entrance to Mira's Woods. And you guys continue traveling and traveling. And after about a week and a half, nothing really interesting has happened on the road. You've seen, caravans, march patrol, everything you're so tuned out and used to at this point. No bandits, no fights, just quiet, safe road. And then, in the morning, about 10 days after you left Meadow Rest, you hear an awful racket ahead of you. It sounds like a carriage, but not like any carriage you've heard. It sounds grindier. And as you get closer and the dust clears a little bit, you can see a broad, ironclad cart. Spectre, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, wait a minute. I should double check to see if he's actually here. A broad, ironclad cart lumbers into view. Every board is buried under a layer of plates, darkened steel. Tool mules pull the heavy thing with a slow determination of creatures who have long resigned their lot in life. One is dusty brown with a sagging ear, and the other is shaggy gray with sharp, attentive eyes. Perched atop the reinforced driver's seat is a dwarf built like a stack of anvils. As he gets to talking distance, he reins in the mules and hops down with a metallic clank. Dusts his hands off on his soot-stained aprons. Beard hangs in thick, unevenly braided cords, studded with metal beads that jangle and clank together softly when he moves. Then he looks up at you.
Hail, friends. Hemlick Ranston, master of marks, traveler of the road, and proud keeper of these two fine beasts. Greneth and Clankor, my esteemed traveling companions.
Oh, well, hello there.
Step right up. Witness the marvel of metallurgy and craft. Here, I work with the hardest, most unyielding metal to ever grace these lands. Harder than any stone, sturdier than any forged steel under mountain or sky. Even the stuff hammered in the hearts of volcanoes themselves. You see this? Ordinary blacksmithing would take days to carve even a single rune into this material. But I, humble traveler, wield the cold punch. Crafted with care, cut with painstaking precision, and baked in an oven with bones. Yes, bones. The ancients used them. And their metal was strong enough to shame the dwarven kingdoms, but don't tell my countrymen I said that. See, a single tap, and the mark is forever impressed. Your weapons, your armor, your trinkets etched by hands that respect the metal more than most respect their own lives. Few stop to witness, fewer still choose to pay. But for a silver a letter, I'll mark your name, your crest, or even a charm of protection. A trifle curiosity, yes, but oh, what's a journey without a souvenir or two to carry back with you?
And
I mean, did our DM just throw his back out?
I was letting my dog back in and running back to my computer. Sorry. Sorry. I was enthralled by his performance and got distracted. Yeah, Spectre's guest starring as an NPC.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, he hops out, strides to the side of his cart, swings open a heavy side door, and pulls out a box. Opening it to show you, you can see this velvet lined, holding small square metal bars, each one glinting in the light with polish. He snatches up one of the square stamps. He taps it against the iron siding of the cart, and metal rings with a soft, crispy clang. And in the same motion, he produces a hammer from somewhere unseen and brings it down once clean and sure. When he steps back, you can see the print that he made is a sharp letter A, cleanly standing out in the metal of the sidewall of the wagon. And then as you're looking at it, you can see there are dozens of these similar marks stamped kind of erratically all over the side, like he's done this exact same spiel to everybody he's ran into.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of metal stuff on me.
I'm interested. To put like a you said you could mark a sigil onto a like a weapon or something, yes?
Any form of lettering marking you so desire, I can reproduce with this marvelous tool.
And then also, I don't have it written in there, but he would have a lot of the common magical runes as a punch. Like runes are a language of their own. It's not any written language. Just magical runes in general have their own like dialect, I guess, or writing format. So every incantation, like fireball, when it's written, it has a symbol for fire, and then another one for projectile, and another one for blast or something. So that's what forms magic is a series of runes that are the written representation of it, and that's something that can empower them. So for a wizard in their spell book, it's all written like that. For a sorcerer like Alaric, it's more of he visualizes that symbol when he's casting fireball. But he does have a good majority of the known runes in stamp form.
All right, so if I wanted like a an amulet of protection created, you could do that then using these runes.
Well, he can stamp protection into an amulet, but it would not be enchanted with protection. It would have the symbology of protection. It would need to have some sort of spellcaster actually activate the rune in some manner, which is a lesser known form of, magic.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
sure.
Like writing it is one thing, but actually being able to imbue it with power is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you say you want some sort of, if you want to get the rune for shielding or protection, you can easily stamp that into something for you.
So yeah, there's two things. So yeah, like if I pull out uh let's see, I've got some stuff here. Yeah, like I've got like gold coin and stuff. So like stamp like a rune onto a gold coin to use as a basis for this.
Yeah, you
The other thing is what
happily
he
stamp coin.
right. The other thing is, I imagine most spellcasters have a personal runic signature that they know.
Yeah. Think of runes like it's a cross between Nordic patterning, like the shape of Nordic symbols, but more of like a Asian style calligraphy. So yeah, you would basically have your own sort of magic signature.
Right. So I'd like to see if he could stamp that onto my magic dagger. Did that not come through?
Yeah.
I said that I have that magic dagger, that dagger of the Hollow Grove. I'd like to see if he could like etch like my personal signature on it.
Well,
Yeah,
let
and
me just have a look here and take a little sample of what. Oh, sir, I'm quite sorry. I'm afraid I don't work with this particular variety of object. If you have anything else, I would be more than happy, though, to work with it, and at a mild discount for the inconvenience.
So what can he do?
Etch stuff into metal.
Make things
As in you
Basically, it's
don't-
cold
you-
punch.
Right, but you won't etch it into magic items, just mundane or weapons in general.
It's frowned upon, you see. It's not the thing is, you wouldn't paint over another artist's work, obviously. You wouldn't etch your name into someone else's statue. You wouldn't sign your name on a famous painting. In this way, I am afraid I do not work with magical artifacts of any sort, really.
What all can you add to something?
You know what a cold punch is, mister?
Yes.
Yeah, basically that's what he does. Cold punch. He cold punches metal. But he just made it clear that he won't touch magic shit.
Oh yeah, I got it. But does he imbue them with magic with his punch?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, he just makes marks in it. He take metal object, take punch, take hammer, go tink.
No. He could put a chink on Samuel's scythe to signify we killed one devil so far.
Oh, there's an idea. Ooh,
killed
maybe I
one
may have
supernatural-
like a devil face.
I've killed one supernatural being, and I'm, Samael's goal is to stand at the top, so he'll kill more. Keep a record.
Well, the rune of greed does look like a devil's face.
I can certainly do that if you'd like. And any mark of your choosing. Please feel free to choose any of these pre-selected ones, or I can use some of the smaller punches to make something a bit more specific to your tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's indicating at the lower row, and basically he's saying if you give him a drawing, he can make it like a tattoo artist by using all the different punches that he has. He has all kinds of little tiny shapes and things.
Is there a symbol for like an opening spell or something like that?
Like there's a rune for like entry.
Yeah. I want to have that put into my crowbar and hammer. How's this amusing?
Excellent, very good. I'll get started on this right away. And you'll be pleased to know I've done such similar work for the head of the Thieves Guild in one of the other cities, though I am not at liberty to say which.
I'm sure I know which one you're talking about, though, but it's all good.
I want him to etch Godslayer into my scythe.
Yeah.
Of course, one at a time, please.
Well, basically anything you guys ask for is basically a silver a punch. So if you
I
have
just pass the
multi-
gold along as a payment and a tip.
Yeah, he with a single arm in that same opening that he pulled the small box of punches out, he just grabs basically like a freestanding anvil and sets it down and grabs another hammer from nowhere. You're not sure where the hammer came from. There's no belt loop. You didn't see it come out of his sleeve. It just
He
appeared in his
grabbed a
hand.
freestanding anvil.
You don't
In
ask a
one
dwarf
hand?
what comes out of his beard, all right?
Yes, he grabbed a freestanding like a 200-pound anvil with one arm. and
Look, I've seen
carried it
UPS
and
guys.
set it down.
Look, I've seen UPS guys one arm a fucking, like a business printer. I don't question anything.
You don't question the blacksmith for his strength,
Yeah, no.
especially the
Is he a
dwarven
dwarf?
blacksmith. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, then he goes to work on all of your guys' stuff. And about 10, 15 minutes go by and he's got everything you guys have requested punched into whatever you requested to be punched in.
Excellent.
Can he work with any kind of metals? Like if we brought him some rare metals, can he make something with them? Huh?
Oh, and I'm telling Spectre what to say because he does the voice just so well.
Yeah, we've long since run out of the stuff Ruffles prepared.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
got
I
through
can
the opening
imagine.
already, so so we've been embellishing.
How does it feel to be a ventriloquist dummy?
Well, my ass is really sore.
But yeah, then you go and ask him about, if he can work rare metals, and he smiles and
Gentlemen, please. While I can, of course, work with any material you might bring me, I merely etch. I do not smith. Not so much as my fellow countrymen. Moreover, you will be very hard pressed to find me again. My home, you see, is the road, and I spend most of my time moving along it. And as such, we might like to never see again. But who knows, perhaps sometime in the future our paths might once more cross.
Well, perhaps. But in the meanwhile, good travels to you.
Of course, and to you, sir.
As I begin, subtly checking to see if he pickpocketed me. It's just...
I can't spell. I can't fucking spell. I don't know why I spelled sincerity like that. And he finishes up, and you guys pack up. He packs his wagon back together and hops back up on it as you guys are parting ways. He looks over and passes a farewell, and
Come, Gwyneth, come, Clancor. Let's get on the road. Farewell, gentlemen. Oh, and that is a lovely dog you have, by the way. Very stout breed, yes.
I just mouthed to Alar dog.
I think he's referring to Samuel.
I had one just like him when I was a boy. Very smart breed, yes.
it looks like he's looking at Nibbles.
I figured.
But the joke is funnier that way, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
You guys are convinced he's talking about Samuel.
Look, I'm not that wise. It's fine.
But yeah. Well, thank you, Spectre, for guest starring. That was very spur of the moment, but fun anyway.
Indeed.
Yeah, no problem.
For a second, I thought he was going to join the campaign.
That's kind of why I did it, just to fuck with everybody, because it was just Mr. him and Connie in here when I asked him.
Ah,
I was like, hey, I know you can't play, but I know you do voices and characters really well. I got this guy that you would fit the bill and be able to play him if you read the DM notes that I had for him.
Yeah,
he's
that's
the
quite
showman.
yeah, that's quite the voice acting there.
It was really well done.
Nice.
But yeah, after your morning encounter with Hemlick Granston, the dwarven punch master, you guys make your way back on the road.
Right, noting
Now
how
with all of
Heimlich-
your gear marked up with cool little punch marks. And the next. Oh, also for the sake of brevity, the every time you guys go past a March fort, Tim does the same exact thing he did at Dorn's fort. He asks if you guys can stop for a minute and then complains about being the only person traveling west apparently. Goes inside, comes back out. Although this time he doesn't look any different. He still has the same saddlebags. It appears he got slotted as male duty.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yep. But yeah, another few days go past, and then another week. And 3 weeks after you left Meadow Rest, oh, holy fuck! Let me blow the dust off my Kettle Crossing notes. You crest a smooth rise in the hills, and in the last few days of travel, the trees have grown fewer. Growing, the rolling grass fields spread far and wide, and you can see massive walls and city gate looming ahead. Curved around the city, the Copper Road continues, and to the south, you can see what appears to be the largest March fort you have ever seen in the entire time you have traveled the road. But as you get closer, the air thickens, smoke and coal, and the steady rhythm of tings and tangs of metal being worked ride out on the winds. Sorry. Uh, the walls are not graceful battlements, but massive slabs of stone, banded with iron straps that gleam like scales in the sun. The gate stands over 20 feet tall, swings on iron hinges, and there's a couple people march standing at the gates. And they see you approaching and, kind of scooch out of the way so that you guys can get up close to talk to them because you guys have the longest caravan they've probably ever seen. Just kidding, they've seen bigger.
Hmm.
Giggity. And as you pass, you guys exchange, pleasantries, and there's no fare or anything like that. And they just kind of wave you through, stop and ask you any questions. But by the time you pass beneath the arch, the smell of metal clings to you.
Well, at least it's not toast. And that means we're not having a stroke.
But yeah, you guys are standing on a pretty broad street. To the north, you can see looks like dozens upon dozens of caravans, all with different groups of people around them, chit-chatting and stuff like that. To your south, you can see what looks like a bunch of squat buildings and dozens upon dozens of blacksmiths. Um, for the uninitiated, Alaric would have some knowledge of Kettle's Crossing, as it is somewhat famous in the Republic of Wedlamar as being the city of blacksmiths. It is where all of the March armor is produced, along with pretty much everything you can imagine when it comes to metallurgy.
And this is the place to get stuff made. And probably enchanted. Probably.
Yep. But as you guys roll into the city, from the north, and you guys kind of roll in and just kind of taking in the sights. From the north, you see a man approaching, human, and he kind of looks familiar. You're sitting there scratching your head why he looks familiar, but you can't place him. Like he just has like all of you have this. He looks familiar, but you're not sure why as you're staring at him. And I didn't move those notes. So, uno momento, por favor. Talk amongst yourselves as this man is walking towards you. And time seems to stretch as the DM searches his notes for the actual shit that happens.
Would this be a pleasant memory or like a oh god memory?
More so you.
I mean, is this a
It's
normal
like
memory or a one
somebody you met at a party, but you don't remember their name. That kind of like you're sure
Alright.
you've seen the face, but you can't quite place it. But at the
Okay,
same
but
time, the face isn't quite right, but the face is close enough.
it's just
Like
that
meeting
it's
someone
not
you went to
like
high
a-
school with 15 years later.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
recognize you, but you don't recognize them, and it's kind of weird because you're looking around. You're like, "Who is this person?" You start searching for names.
Yeah, and you
People you owe money to hear that kind of thing.
Trying to remember where you know this person from.
Well, yeah, but it's not like a oh god, I need to start running. It's more like this is just gonna annoy me.
Yes.
Either that or it's a devil in disguise and Samuel's about to open up on him again.
Well, I mean
In the
that's
middle of a
that's
crowded
a problem.
square.
Yeah, that's
Again?
a
And
problem.
now, how many times does that happen?
Well,
That
just
it
once.
actually another devil in high authority within the
If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels, but it'd still be fucking weird that I have
Weird,
2
yeah.
Yeah,
nickels.
I mean, Samuel, you just blindly shoot into a crowd and kill a devil. You do it once, and it's kind of like fucking a goat. You're known as the goat fucker at that point.
Ah,
Yeah, even if it was only one time.
Right.
for now.
The real tragedy is I fucked all those bears, but nobody seems to care about them.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio cares.
Hey, what you do in the privacy of your own Baldur's Gate 3 game, that's on you, man.
I got that joke.
I think we all got that joke.
Okay. Fortunately, I found them like right away. So, you guys see this gentleman approaching you, and you've traveled the road a bit, and he very much is dressed like a merchant. You've seen a dozen of them in the last 5 minutes. Sorry, 1 second. I copied it and then clicked off of it, so now I have to go back and find where the fuck I put the thing that I pasted. Session 27. Kettles Crossing. There we go. All right. Yeah, so he walks up to you, and he seems to be looking at your oxen and wagons, and he's like, "Which of you is in charge here?
I
'Cause
am.
I see my brother's wagons. I do not see my brother."
Well, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Your brother was attacked on the road by bandits. And while I found the oxen and the cattle, I did not find your brother. I'm afraid he is likely dead.
Well, you did. That's where you got the ledger from, and that's why his face looked familiar. It was one of the corpses.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay. Then
Yeah,
then,
there
I
was
would
there
say,
were
no,
dead
I've got-
bodies by the wagons. Yeah.
Yeah, then I would then I would forgo the whole your brother's missing, presumed dead, to just he's dead. I saw his
He's
corpse.
dead, Jim.
He was attacked by bandits on our way here. we came across the battle site. If it's any condolence to you, we killed all the bandits that attacked him.
Ah, that's an unfortunate explanation for the delay. However, you don't really strike me as merchants. So,
Death. No,
I'm
not down
assuming
to
the
that.
March issued you salvage rights, considering any kind of gestures at Tim, your escort. If you had stolen them, you wouldn't have a white stripe riding along with you.
Indeed.
But I doubt you want to go through the hassles of dealing with getting them off or across the border. Sorry. So, that being said, I know what they're worth up north. You could probably guess what they're worth up north. I'll give you 6,000 gold pieces, oxen, wagons, and cargo. And you can just call it there. And his ledger, if possible.
I do have the ledger, and I do know what this is worth. I think 8,000 would be fair.
Well, considering it'll cost me 2,000 just to get it out of border, best I could really do is 7, and then I would be barely making a profit. But at the same time, I would still have the goods. So if 7 is fair to you,
7's fair to me. We have a deal. I hand over the ledger and have Lizar kind of sidle up the couple of wagons and the oxen, the stuff that isn't actually ours.
Yeah.
Like the 10,000 gold worth of rare spices and dried fruit.
yeah, and they're already ranged, and then you have the carriage full of mercenary gear and he had introduced himself as Callan Dross, and they had said House Dross was their family crest, which you see on his coat, which matches the front of the ledger, giving you some validation of his legitimacy. And then he, looks at the oxen, the wagons you guys have, and the wagon full of, the ballista and arms and armor. And he's like, well, I have no use for this, so I'll take the oxen off of it, but you're more than welcome to keep the wagon.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we only sold him the oxen, the
Yeah.
wagons, and the rare spices. The spoils that we claimed from the bandits and from Meadowcrest remain ours.
Yeah, he wasn't. He even looked at the wagon full of adventuring gear and said, "Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. You guys can keep that wagon. The other wagons would be sufficient for me. So yeah, you guys just have the one wagon full of adventuring gear and plus one ballista."
Right. And we'll just pick up a couple of draft horses here or something.
Well, you have like fucking 24 horses. You
Okay,
have
never
the
mind.
Original, yeah, so you have the
That's
original
right.
dozen that you left Ardenshire with, and then you got another dozen from the bandit camp.
I forgot about the bandit camp horses.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I hand over the ledger, and it's kind of like, so are you paying in bars
Oh.
or?
Yes, he pulls out a pouch and he stops and he thinks for a second and he puts that pouch back and he grabs a different one out. And he kind of jingles it in his hand. You can hear it sounds like beads or gems. And then he reaches in and pulls out another one and he hands them both up to you. Like, there you go, 7,000.
Okay. Yeah, I just do a quick verification, just make sure everything is above board, and usual, medieval type stuff, and hand over the reins to the oxen and stuff to him.
Yeah, it looks like he gave you a pouch of 50 and a pouch of 20 100 gold piece diamonds.
Okay,
So you have 70 100 gold piece diamonds from him as payment.
that works.
And 2 leather pouches.
Yeah. Look, we got tons of leather pouches. I don't keep track of leather pouches
You
at this
got
point.
18 fucking backpacks. This is good. This is good. And he opens the ledger and he goes all the way to the back of it and he pulls out a quill and he kind of holds it up to you. Here, a token of appreciation. It's not too often you find good people on the road these days. He always kept 2 quills, one for contracts and one for letters home. For what it's worth, you've done right by him.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, he heads away for a little bit, and then he comes back, and there's like 3 or 4 guys that come with him. They grab the wagons and oxen, and they kind of just start heading north. You can see up north, like there's just dozens upon dozens of caravans, and he seems to know what he's doing, leaving you guys to your own devices.
All right. Well, I think first things first is I have a letter of credit that was addressed out here to Kettle's Cross, and there should be a money changer here that I should be able to cash that in at.
Yeah, that would be in the like the central part. Imagine the city as a big circle. It is 10 miles across. It is not a very tall city. It is a wide city. The center hub is basically like a circle, and that is where a lot of the government is. You see a lot of March soldiers heading that way, so you would naturally be inclined to go that direction for sort of that thing. And then from there, it radiates out into 4 distinct quadrants. And based on what you're hearing, people talking, merchants and stuff like that, it sounds like they call them in reverse. So it's instead of the southeast quarter, it's called east-south quarter, and so on. Big circle like a cross and a circle in the middle. That's the layout.
Sure.
But yeah, head up. There are several money changers that will happily take your line of credit for platinum bars.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can trade out your line of credit for platinum, certified platinum bullion.
And there's like a lot of blacksmithing and armories here, yes?
Yes.
So-
That would
so-
be the east-south. That is all full of blacksmiths.
Right. So, does anybody want any of the items that we acquired in Meadowcrest? You know, the suit of plate mail, 2 suits of splint, a breastplate, 4 shields, 4 long swords, 3 longbows, 3 short bows, battle axes, great swords, mauls, hand axes, daggers, crossbows. We're keeping the kit, the rope, the various tools.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
but
guessing if I
the
don't,
arms and armor, it's kind of, if no one here uses any of this, then it's just dead weight.
Yeah.
I'm guessing by the fact that I don't have the armor checked off, I can only use light armor, correct?
Yeah, you're a bard, so yeah, you can only equip light armor. You can wear other armors, you just have, debuffs.
Is basically studded leather the best one that I can get?
Yes, studded leather is
for
the
light, yeah.
best light armor you can get, unless you get something with modifier or magical properties.
Does Samuel wear armor?
He is kitted in plate.
Oh, okay, so you already have plate.
You want backup plate?
You know, it would not be a bad idea to have backup. Is it magical plate, Samuel?
No, I do not have magical plate.
All right,
I
then we'll
want
keep the
magic-
suit of plate mail as a backup for Samuel in case we run into like an acid monster that like destroys his armor.
That'll work.
Why would I ever give you a second suit of plate and then put an acid monster right in front of your path? That would be so silly.
I mean, it's the same reason why in the Bronze Age I had that invisible familiar that ate tin.
Yeah, there's nothing really good in there to armor a sorcerer, so I think I'm good, except for maybe keeping the crossbow ammo, really.
Yeah, we can keep
Yeah,
the ammo.
I don't track ammo. If you have ammo, I'm assuming, considering this is a trade focused urban setting for the most part,
It's replenished,
we're
but
not gonna worry about
technically, be
ammo.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, you basically just kind of keep the ammo that you find in your inventory, and you always seem to have ammo because of that.
yeah. The rope probably always handy too. Insert Boondock Saint scene here.
Yeah, it sounds like he's gonna keep the all the kits.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
And
I'm keeping all
tools
the
and stuff, I would
tools.
imagine, because they don't
I'm
take
keeping
up that
the
much
tents, the
space, but they're
backpacks.
handy to have around.
Yeah, I'm keeping the utility stuff, but
And the tents that Levi provided you are the comfortable 4-person tents. These are 2-person tents, the smaller, less comfortable ones, the PHB 2-person tents.
yeah. Still probably handy to have those as backup just in case, I don't know, some cloth monster shows up, you never know.
Ah, the dreaded moth.
Mothman appears.
This ain't my first Mothman rodeo. What was that, Spectre?
That was just me doing a disaster on the river, Ohio. You guys forget I'm from the Mothman state.
Mothman. He's usually distracted by fire, though.
Or stadium lights.
Or that, yeah.
Does everybody here know the Mothman part? It was at a concert. I don't remember the exact origin of the story, but it was like some concert. The guy was high as balls on something, and he thought he was a moth and climbed up one of those portable generator lights.
Oh God.
It was up on the lights, and this fucking maintenance worker, like everybody's like all super concerned. Fire department's on their way and everything like that. And this guy is like definitely gonna fall. This random maintenance worker comes up, goes up to the generator, shuts it off, pulls out his flashlight and just points it up at the guy, and then slowly works him down the fucking pole and points it at the ground where other people kind of grab him and restrain him. And yeah, it was definitely not that guy's first Mothman rodeo.
Alrighty then.
But all right, yeah, you're able to find a couple of merchants that are willing to pay you half price for taking the crap off your hands.
mm-hmm.
A couple of Fletchers will take the bows, and you talk around, you find some weaponsmith. It seems like everybody's kind of like a specialist of some sort. It's not like a blacksmith that does everything. It's everything with a different blacksmith. There's one blacksmith that seems to be plate specialist. There's one that's making scale and splint mail. And there's dozens of them. Oh, where the fuck did I put that? Oh, never mind. I found it. Yeah. As you're walking around, or riding around in your carriage, unless you know, paid 2 silver to park it somewhere, so that was a little easier to navigate. The streets are wide, but they're reasonably packed. Don't see a lot of wagons and carriages in the east-south district. Do you guys take your carriage with you when you're doing your sales? Like, you bring the wagon, obviously, but do you bring the carriages too, or do you just pay somebody to park them?
Yeah, we'll just park them and have Lizar, guard them.
Yeah, yeah. Lizar and Nibbles stay with the carriages. Cost you, 4 silver, 2 for each of them. That includes the horses.
Okay.
And yeah, you guys, take the wagon and a couple of horses and start making your way through the east south, selling all of your wares. You're able to sell all of it. And as you're finishing up, you're heading on to this press of motion and noise. You can see it's one of the end stalls, almost near the front gate. It's a little bit smaller, and these are kind of houses in some cases, but for the most part, they're just like open stalls around a couple of shared forges. And this half orc, he lifts his voice and calls out to you, "Travelers!" He calls out, carrying enough just to cut over the din, but not too loud to startle anybody.
I turn my head to look at where that came from.
You see a half orc, one of his, tusks is cut off, and his apron is scorched. His arms are black to the elbow. He wipes his brow with the back of his wrist. His eyes moving from your wagon to your horse, back to you. And as you guys are, riding along on the wagon, he kind of just comes up alongside and matches your pace. Not
How's
the
it going?
usual merchant sort to cross through here. Might I ask, are you eastbound to Ghent, or are you heading west?
Redolin is west.
Yes, you guys. Yeah, Ghent is east, Redlin is west.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're headed west.
Ah. And he nods, strokes his chin with his thumb, and leaves a little suit on it, actually. West, then. Ah, likely heading for Redlin. Fine city. But tell me, have you heard of Tubzil? About 2 weeks, 2 weeks
Uh,
along east and another south.
have I heard of that town?
Um, Go ahead and make me a history check.
A
See
history
if you've
check.
heard of the city of Tubbs. And any of you guys can make this check. Samuel, I mean,
No.
Alaric, you're pretty sure he said Tupperware.
Yeah. Can't say I've heard that one.
Anybody else want to roll?
I
Let's
did.
see.
What are we rolling?
Yeah, I was asking Connie and Samuel. I seen your
Ah, okay.
I want to roll. What are we
history.
rolling? History. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, history, to see if you guys are familiar with the name of the city.
I
that he just
also
said.
think it's Tupperware.
Connie is also convinced that he said Tupperware.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
is
Samuel.
Tupperware existence in this?
No, but there is an up and coming tinsmith who swears he has made a temporary permanent container. He's been calling it Tinaware. Anyway, both Samuel and Alar, you've heard the name. Samuel, because of your religious knowledge, and Alar, because of your travels and study, it would be most well known as the city where the merchants were born. It's, at least the stories say, where trade started, which is absolutely not true, but that's what the stories say. And from what you know of it, it is basically, if you're looking for one of the major trade houses in the Southwest, or, they have touched most of the continent of Kshatriya, spread out across some of Oron, have contacts and connections in Flazela, Tubzil is the place to go to do merchant contract work. Because that's where all the merchants are. That's where all the major trade houses and major players live. It is a really, really wealthy city of idiots. At least from your guys' perspective.
Hey, watch what you say about merchants.
No, not the traveling salesman kind. We're talking about the Wall Street money grubbing kind. That kind of merchant. Well, and he'd continue after we took that minute to pause. This is Tubsil. 2 weeks journey, another week south or so. And he's like, well, you come with me, I'll show you what I'm proposing. And he gestures for you guys to join him at his stall.
Yeah, sure.
And he brings you over to his stall, and there's a small, back store room. He opens the door and walks in, and it's really orderly, although a bit sparse. There's a small workbench and anvil in the back. It looks like he uses for, like cold hammering and stuff like that. And he goes, well, here's my problem. I have a commission, 2 suits of adamantine plate. Masterwork, if I may say so myself, though they are to stand in some noble's hearth in Tubsil. A decoration worth more than most men's lives. 20,000 gold in steel, adamantine in sweat. But if I send them through a chartered transport, spits dust, a glob of black phlegm. Tariffs alone will bleed me dry. And he stands up square again and folds his arms. So, I ask you this. Take them, pretend they are yours, your prize, your armor, whatever you wish to say. Carry them west out of the Republic, then south, deliver them to Tubsil. In return, he pulls out a platinum bar, which you would recognize as a 2,000 gold piece platinum bar. A bar, yours the next time you pass through, if the suits arrive and I receive payment. And he gestures over at the table, and you can see, it looks like 2 men laying down underneath a cloth. Flips back the cloth. You can see gleaming and possibly dark metal, chased with subtle engravings, and fully functioning, fully lethal suits of adamantine plate. A lord will hang them by his fire, never to be worn, a waste. But gold is gold, and you travelers are not with the guilds. Tell that from, well, the way you walk through a crowd. Trust you more than I can trust the bastards who will insist that I pay the tariff.
We still have Tim with us, yes?
Tim stayed with the wagon, the carriages, and said that
Okay.
he was going to be. Yeah, he said he was going to be reporting to the fort. So you
Gotcha.
haven't seen Tim since you started selling shit.
Oh, okay,
I
so
did
this guy
forget to
didn't just
mention that. Yeah.
proposition us to smuggle stuff
Break the law in front of a
of
cop.
yeah, in front of like their equivalent of the federales.
No, he did not. In fact, he wouldn't have even approached you if Tim was with you. But yeah, when you guys were parking your carriages, Tim said that he was going to go report to the fort and deliver the parcel of mail. And then, if you guys intended to stay in the Republic, to come to the fort and acquire him. Otherwise, you are welcome to your own devices if you're planning on, leaving the Republic by either heading north or west, because this is an oddball corner point where both territories, west and north of the city, are not the March. This is the Kettle's Crossing is called the end of the Republic. It's a nickname it got because it's literally the last stopping point before you literally exit the Republic. But anyway, yes, Tim the cop is not with you.
I mean, I like money.
Are you I asked Mark, are you well known here for making this type of adamantine goods?
Ah. How foolish of me. And he gives a curt bow. I am Gaston, the half-orc adamantine smith, at your service.
Yeah.
Though not many people have required my services of late, and this was my last dollar of investment, getting this adamantine from the south. And if I don't get the commission, yeah, I'm gonna be broke. But as for your question, yes, I do specialize in adamantine work. Though I do not have any on me. And he kind of gestures at the sparse workshop around him.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, how much would the tariff be to get the suit through legal channels?
Oh, for adamantine plate, it would be about. He sits and counts on his fingers. He's missing a pinky on his right hand, by the way. 8,000.
Right.
Plus the courier fee, which is another 2,000, and I would barely break even for what I owe for renting this shop this month. Hence, why I decided to chat with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a really good real estate agent that can help you save some money on that.
Jake from State Homes.
Well, I have a. You said the suit's worth 20,000 gold pieces.
Yep, that would be the commission price.
Well, then I have a counter proposal to you.
I'm listening.
I'll pay you the 20,000 gold to buy this suit of adamantine plate. Now, you tell your commission that, there was a problem and it will be delayed, but then you get to simply do it again already with the profit from me having purchased it without you having to pay to ship it. Everyone then walks away happy except for you're too rich to really be smart enough to tell that what happened commission. That's far off away. You get the cash, cold hard currency right now.
He crosses his arms and tucks his fingers into his armpit, kind of thinks. Well, I don't like much missing delivery dates. But go ahead and roll me a persuasion check as he ponders your offer.
Can I support that? Flash my tits.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with disadvantage, Alar. No, just flat roll, Connie. You weren't really doing any talking to support it.
That's why I flash my tits.
Yeah, that's why he's rolling with disadvantage if you do that. Yeah, it seems like, despite the wanting to use less than honest channels to get the delivery to the owner, he doesn't want to break the original contract. That's kind of what his issue is. He has no problem breaking the law, but breaking his word is what's bothering him. Even though, it would definitely be in his favor, he would rather see it delivered than have a tarnished mark on his name for being late.
Well, I'm not really interested in engaging in smuggling. So, I think we're going to be here for the day and head out in the morning. So, you have until that offer remains open until we leave.
Oh. I appreciate your honesty. And he nods his head.
Yep.
Well, if you ever come back through, maybe I'll have gotten lucky by then. Good day.
Good day to you. Yeah. And then we just leave. And we just continue our rounds selling the loot what we have.
Yeah, and that was, later in the evening already. You guys had been finished and were heading back to your carriages. He was right in the path to get back to the northern part of the city that he bothered you.
Yep. Sorry, Samuel. Tried to get you a suit of adamantine plate, but he wouldn't go for it.
He was just on the border of honest.
If we weren't under such close scrutiny by the March at the moment, I probably would have gone for it.
Yeah.
But given what we've already done and all the eyes on us, it would be a bad idea to engage in that type of activity right now.
Oh, if that was your concern, like if you had told him that,
I would not have told him that.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not selling the party to why me, the player, would have just walked away from that.
Yeah. Under other circumstances, you would have happily smuggled them out of the city. No problem.
Yes. But right now, given our present circumstances, I think the risk is too
Right
great.
now, we have to keep a low profile because.
Well, no, it's more to smuggle. You need to keep a low profile. Our profile is sky fucking high. We took out a bandit camp solo. We then went and knocked over a budding demon cult in a village solo, and then called in the march to do nothing more than mop up and the bureaucratic shit afterwards. That their higher ups are paying very close attention to what we're doing here, even if it's not apparent, just for no other reason than if we get involved, it means shit has gone sideways really bad for them.
You tend to make paperwork. Yes, they don't want paperwork.
Please stop making paperwork for us.
Yes, exactly. Although, from what you understood from what Tim was explaining is he was not there as a babysitter. He was there as a counterpoint because you guys tended to get into situations that needed explaining for your defense, but you guys hadn't done anything harmful.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
so no
On the
reason
other
to-
hand,
That
No
is
reason to
that
rock
is the
the boat.
higher ups being polite about putting us under surveillance. And us agreeing to it was us in turn being polite enough to say, yeah, okay, we're getting into some shit here.
but anyway,
If we were like seriously trying to do something like this, we should have ditched Tim like miles ago.
but yeah, you guys return to your carriages. They are intact and have all 4 of their wheels each. Lyzar is sitting on the seat. He is like reading a book.
He's literate.
Mhm.
Ah,
I mean, he wrote up a list of what was in your guys'
I
inventory.
guess that makes sense.
Wait, why do you blast Lyzar, Samuel?
I'm just blasting lasers. No, I'm not blasting.
He's decided we haven't generated enough paperwork yet.
But yeah, and you guys spend some time in getting a bit of the lay of the land as the evening closes out, and it sounds like most of the inns and taverns are to the north. Sorry. The west north quadrant seems to be where everybody is staying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we go to whatever accommodations are here. Whether it's an inn
Oh, yeah.
or a hostel or what have you.
There are dozens of inns. All statures of life seem to be staying.
Well, I look for a comfortable one.
All right.
You know, one befitting our stature.
Yeah, the most expensive inn is the Whiskey Rose, and the middle ranging one that you find is the Tilted Moth, and then there's a lower end one that is the Dashing Spark.
How much per night at the nice one?
It'd be 5 gold per room per person.
And that's the comfortable one?
That's the higher end one. The comfortable one is that's the Whiskey Rose. And then the middle range one was the Tilted Moth, and that is 1 gold a night, and then the other one is 2 silver a night.
Yeah, I'll say it the gold one.
All right, yeah.
I mean, if other people want to stay elsewhere, let me know. But
Does anybody have accommodation preferences?
No.
I have a very
Ani
Long
is used
list.
to the not nice ones. That's where a lot of her business comes from. So she'll stay there.
All right.
so
So
5 gold in the silver.
sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, we can just cover that out of party funds.
Those are the 3 that stood out to you. There are dozens of inns, but those are the ones that were all kind of close
Yeah,
together. that you're
so
sitting there like,
most of us are at the
that one, that
Tilted
one, that one.
Moth. And I guess Connie's staying at the Dashing Spark. Is Connie even actually like getting a room, or is she using other people's rooms?
I mean, if I'm using other people's rooms, then I'm making money.
That's what
Well,
I'm asking.
if you would like to extend your social services, please go ahead and give me a deception check.
Is it really
Because-
deception?
Well, you're lying to
Alternately,
your clients to make them happy.
Performance.
you know, paper bag placed over the head.
Well, is there going to be a deception check? Okay. Then go ahead and give me a performance check.
Uh,
And then go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check as you're staying in a less than reputable location. So there's a couple of loose coin purses that you could donate yourself a little extra out of that people wouldn't notice.
My apologies. Those are my proficiency bonuses, so those +6s are actually +9s.
Okay. Good to know.
I apologize.
Yep. And then a sleight of hand check because you are in a less than reputable location. So you're able to snag a few extra coins that nobody
Oh.
notices.
Also, Connie, do you have Jack of all trades?
I do.
You have a dexterity of 14.
No, it's prostitute has jack off all trades.
I have a dexterity of 15.
Okay, yeah, then yeah, it's filling out on the sheet correctly then.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, sometimes the bard does not.
Wait, so
I
a
had
jack
one
of
that I
all
was.
tra-
So if you're not
Yes.
proficient, you get a plus. You get a bonus to it.
Oh.
Yeah, you get
well,
half your
then
If you don't
proficiency
have
if you're
the
not
profici-
proficient
yeah.
to it.
So my sleight of hand, I should have a 23. Is it higher or lower?
No. It's automatically correct. It's
Yeah,
adding
the sheet
1 to
adds it
your-
automatically. I was just
Oh, I
curious and
see.
making sure it was doing it.
Yeah,
Of
that's why I
course,
asked
the
what your
same
dex
thing,
score
so-
was because you have a 15, which means you have a +2, which would be a +2, but you have a +3, which jack of all trade is applied.
Okay,
Blah, blah,
got
blah,
it.
blah. Yep. But yeah, you spend a little bit of time there and in between, it's again in my setting, taverns and inns are separate. So you spend some time at some of the taverns, you're scoping out clients and stuff like that, and you find a couple of easy marks and you're able to go back to their rooms and work your magic. But at the very end of the night, a wealthier merchant is very interested in you accommodating him for the evening, and he's a sparkling silver dragonborn.
Ooh.
And you spend the night with him, and the rest of the
Lovely.
party spends the night in their rooms.
I mean, it sounds glamorous, but you're cleaning silver sparkles out of every orifice for days.
I mean, aren't you a gold dragon?
Yes.
Yeah, silver and gold. I mean, she's already used to it. She's a fucking dragonborn. But yeah, and the night goes without incident except for Connie. She has several. And Connie, you return to the party 144 gold pieces richer.
Yay.
Sometimes it pays to have a slut in the party.
I go walk into everyone. I meet them down. Is there a pub or anything downstairs? Do they do breakfast?
Yeah, that the inns typically accommodate food for like, breaking the fast morning meals. And then they don't typically do like a lunch or a dinner because most people are at inns or taverns. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, they do have some sort of cold or warm breakfast.
Everyone's getting steak and eggs this morning, and I slam down a bunch of gold pieces.
Ah,
Dig.
the innkeeper that's kind of tending to your guys' table. Ah, so you want fruit in your porridge? Got it. And she walks back to the back.
Fruit in your porridge sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah.
No, ma'am, I already had plenty of fruit in my porridge last night.
Yeah, somebody put fruit in my porridge.
well, but you guys are all back together for the morning. Had your breakfast. Connie paid the upcharge fee, and you guys got a little bit of bonus in your oats. But yeah, it's
Awesome.
just, I can't help it. Apparently,
Kind of fucking mid-range establishment has a fucking paid breakfast down at Continental.
a medieval
Yeah,
one.
what the fuck? I said steak and eggs.
Well, if you want to get steak and eggs, you'll have to go somewhere else. This ain't that kind of establishment. But yeah, morning comes, you guys have your breakfast. Connie comes back swaggering proud with her bag of coin. But the day is yours.
Well, unless that adamantine merchant is reconsidered, I think we're just heading out for Redlin.
All right. Yeah, you guys go to your carriages and wagon.
Yep.
Yeah. Lizar's there getting things ready. And he says, did you guys talk with a half orc?
Yes.
Well, he gave me this, and he holds out a 2,000 piece platinum bar and what looks like a letter or piece of paper of some sort. I didn't know what to do with it, and he asked me to load up those 2 suits of adamantine plate in the wagon. And I thought you sent him, so I did it.
Okay. Let me see the letter.
Yeah, and he hands you the letter, and it's 2 pieces of paper. One, it looks like a receipt of sales, and the recipient spot is blank. But it is the purchase of 2 suits of adamantine plate, and it looks like what you would get for a receipt of sales. And then the second piece, as you flip through it, is a letter, him basically, and it reads, "I apologize. I took it upon myself to simplify the matter and sold you the adamantine plate. As you can see, do hope you appreciate. I have reached the limit of my desperation." And the letter goes on for a little bit, basically,
And a little bit of intelligence.
sad spieling it. But yeah. And then along with it, Lizer did hand you a 2,000 gold piece platinum bar.
That's not usually how buying stuff works. Usually you give money to the merchant. The merchant doesn't usually give you money to then take their product.
Don't tell him anything. See if he'll sell you his house next.
But yeah, it seems the merchant took it upon himself to sell you the adamantine plate for your journeys as mercenaries.
But we didn't give. He's what, trying to force us to do the smuggling delivery?
Based on what you're reading in the letter, yeah, it definitely seems that way.
He's not very good at this, is he?
He really isn't. This is why I didn't want to deal with him. I hate dealing with amateurs.
Well, so okay, so I mean, technically, he did sell them to us, and then we can always try to get more money out of the noble. And it's all legit, technically.
That's great and all, except that when we basically rip this guy off, we end up with 3 problems. Namely, the person originally intended to take delivery of this will be mad that, from his perspective, we stole it from him. Secondly, the guy who sold us this is basically going to tell everybody not to trust us with this type of thing because we just fucking stole 2 suits of adamantine armor. Which means that any contacts we were ever hoping to make in the underworld are basically never going to trust us.
Well, I didn't say to actually steal the suits.
Thirdly, this is a smith who works with adamantine. If we ever want to use him to get adamantine stuff made, if we rip him off, he will never work for us.
I'm not saying to rip them off.
You want to do the smuggling thing.
I'm not. Either way, it doesn't really matter to me. But I mean, if we do, we can always get more money out of the noble who's going to be getting it at the end of the line. You know, say like, oh, transporting this costed more than expected. So
Does the
we
letter
make
at
it all-
least tell us which noble we're supposed to deliver these to?
Yes. So yeah, I don't have the letter written up, but
yeah, but we never even got to that point in the negotiation with him about where to do delivery.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, like, was he even smart enough to put it in the fucking letter, or do we have to go now find him and drag the answer out of him? No.
yeah. So that was also included in the letter that I can type out. I do have. But yeah, you're definitely getting amateur hour vibes from him.
Well, yeah, that part's obvious, but like, I mean, we can still do the job, and then if we do it for him, he'll want to help us later. And I mean, it's
So-
still,
Yeah. At this point, I would say, yeah, we just accept delivery of these and we go and do it. We've got receipts, so it's not a
it's
problem.
legit. Yeah,
Well-
it's not gonna get from Tim.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about Tim. Like,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this point,
You haven't seen Tim, and Tim did tell you that if you were planning on returning into the Republic, because you're at the edge of the Republic right now, to go
Mhm.
to the fort and get him.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is when we leave, even though we're under scrutiny, this looks like a legitimate purchase.
Yes.
So,
And then we'll be
I'm
making a
fine.
perfectly and we'll be making a perfectly legal transaction at the other end of this.
yeah, in fact, this is the way, like, long-distance freight used to be done. Where you would actually sign cargo over to the captain of a ship. It was called free on board. Or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
point is you sign it over to the captain. He takes to the port and sells it like to the other side. And there were lots of problems with this because people driving prices up and down during transit.
Which I
Mhm.
which I was kind of saying that we should do, like, oh
Yeah,
no,
right.
it costs a little more to transport it, so we add a
Yeah.
little bit more for ourselves. We give the actual money that the guy that Smith is expecting to him, so that he's not fucked over, and he's also likes us, and then everything's kind of hunky dory. And the noble who doesn't know any better and has more money to burn than sense, I mean, meh.
Yeah. And when he originally talked to you, he had said, that he would, pay you a bar when you passed back through, and now he's paying you the bar up front. And then the other thing that you would remember from the conversation with him is that the payment was, going to be done via courier. So you guys won't even be handling the payment. Like that's something that came up in conversation originally with him. Once the suits are delivery, the noble will, courier a letter of marque back to Kettle's Crossing for him. So you guys aren't even going to be handling the payment, just to
Well.
clarify that before it gets to there. But you are more than welcome to persuade the very dumb noble to pay you more money, because he'll probably do it.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. And if not, we'll just throw Connie at him, and it'll be fine.
Mm.
I show him my tits.
Exactly. So, I mean, it kind of seems like a low risk operation to us, considering everything else we've gotten up to.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I didn't want to deal with him before was the reputational risk he was basically asking us to undertake
Oh,
for
yeah,
no
oh,
real
yeah.
good reason. But
Yeah,
it-
you
the way
guys
they
came
didn't
into the
set up-
city with no suits of adamantine. Now you're leaving the city with 2 suits of adamantine. That's going to raise some questions. But now, he thought of maybe giving you a receipt might dissuade your honesty.
all right.
Yeah, so Lizar's kind of just standing there scratching his head. So are we getting back on the road, or are we hanging out, or
No, we're heading out.
what are we doing today? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you did good. Loading up was right.
All right. I'm assuming that was your change.
Yes.
Well, through the checkpoint, yay. Yeah. And you guys load up your stuff and head through the city. And the central cross paths through the city are very easy to navigate. They're 40 feet wide and very straight. And you're able to get back on the main drag, go around the center of the city, and head out the western gate. And about a mile away, you can see why it's called the Edge of the Republic. You can see a very large gatehouse spanning the width of the road all the way out to the sparse woods. In reality, you could pretty easily ride your carriage around it. It's a symbiotic threshold. Public banners are flapping high on the walls, and you can see several lanes of travel. Some people on foot, a couple on horseback, a couple of wealthier looking carriages down what looks like the middle lane straight through everything. And then over to the north, you can see 3 large lanes with caravans waiting patiently in them. As you guys ride closer, the 2 March soldiers that are sitting on horseback, opposite sides of the road, look at you. Ah, well, you guys don't look like merchants. Are you guys merchants?
Nope. Traveling adventurers.
All right. Mercenary. Do you got any oddities you'd like to declare that you're selling in other territories?
Nothing we intend to sell. No.
All right. Fresh lane down the middle. Have a safe journey. And he kind of just
Thank you.
waves and sort of points at the middle lane.
Yeah. We just head down the middle lane.
Another couple of soldiers, and these guys are on foot. They're walking around a carriage, waving it through. Walking around a carriage, waving it through. You guys finally get up to the front of the line, and well, hope you enjoyed your travels through the Republic.
Oh.
And they chit chat a little bit, and they walk around and they look in your wagon. All right. And they just wave you through. They don't even ask any questions.
Yeah. We just go.
and you guys set out. Moving a little bit faster now that you're oxen free. You guys travel for about a week. Past the occasional caravan, some going west, some going east. But no march patrols, no any military.
So during this week, is there ever a time when we're basically alone on the road and unobserved, as far as we can tell?
Yeah, several times. Most of the time when you make camp, there's nobody around you.
Great. So we got that crate that they want us to deliver to Redlin, right?
Yes.
Now, back in Ghent, I bought a bunch of crating materials sufficient to replicate this crate.
10 hinges, yes.
Yes. So I would like to carefully open this crate and review its contents.
Right. Go ahead and make me a dexterity sleight of hand check as you attempt to carefully open this nice wooden crate.
Okay, I'd like someone who's actually like dexterous to do this.
I think
Ha 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 ha.
Connie has maybe Samuel. I don't remember what Samuel's paladin build is, but I think Connie might have the slightest. This is the highest sleight of hand.
Who's got like dexterous sleight of hand type stuff?
No.
Okay, so
I
Connie
am
is.
as dexterous as a bull. No. I dumped this is a straight paladin. Samuel is more is
Oh,
is
it's a
more
straight
paladin.
paladin, not a paladin.
Well, no, he's a fighter paladin, but he's heavy. He's heavy armed.
I know. I was making a gay joke.
This paladin's a
anyway.
real pal, if you know what we mean.
Well, my dexterity is a 6, so it doesn't take much to be better at this than Alar.
Connie, are you here? Jake? The one you need.
Well, how dexterous is Alar?
+1.
Better than the other two in the party.
That's sad.
Believe it or not, I am proficient in sleight of hand, so I can help you with this to give you advantage.
Well, that's good.
All right. Well, go ahead and make your sleight of hand check at advantage because, yeah, the two of you together can, carefully get the nails out so that you're not damaging the wood. The hinges you're not too concerned about. You don't want to put too much of a mar on the wood itself. And let me find that block if I have a block for that. If not, I can type one up real quick.
Well, luckily I have mending, so if I break the wood, we can fix that.
I do not. The one's looking
Holy shit.
All right. Yeah. It takes you a little bit, but you are able to get one of the side panels completely free. You even manage to do it and keep two of the longer hinges intact. So you don't even got to use all of your hinges.
See, it's because I put the entry symbol on the hammer and chisel, or the hammer and crowbar. Made all the difference.
Yeah. But yeah, you're able to get the hinges free, and the panel could pop off if you wanted it to.
Yeah. Let's take a look what's inside.
And you pop the wooden panel off, and you see a sheet of dull gray material.
Well, fortunately, I have a nice little dagger, and we can just very carefully cut that sheet out.
All right. It does look like the sheet does wrap around whatever's inside. But
we have
from
mending.
the. Okay, that's true. So yeah, you cut the metal sheet, and you peel it back a little bit, and it's a rock.
Is it like a shiny rock?
The face that you're looking at looks like broken rock face.
All right. I do a detect magic ritual.
All right. It pings back as a indeterminate school of magic. It's a school of magic that exists, but you are unfamiliar with.
Okay. And is there any other magical sources in there, or just this rock?
Just the rock.
All right. Then I'll do an identify ritual on the rock.
All right. You do an identify ritual on the rock. And as you cast your identify ritual, summoning forth the magic to tell you what this strange thing is Levi is having you transport, that is where we will call it.
Ah, the suspense.